Anyways, recently I went to Austria and I posted a lot of LGBT content and I decided to really stretch it. I think my intention, I wanted to force myself out of the closet. I wanted to be out. And I was almost coming out without coming out. That was like my way of doing it. I decided at this event that was very LGBT friendly that I was invited to again because my content really resonated with a lot of people. I was invited to go to an event that's in particular related to HIV and AIDS, which is very closely related to a lot of LGBT relationships. Though obviously LGBT is more than just relationships, it's also asexuality, gender identity, etc. Okay, I just ate a ton of food. I literally just ate my feelings. That was really crazy. Wow, I'm nervous about this video. Okay. Whew. So, I'm gonna have to make this like a 4-part series because I'm talking so much, but it's a lot to explain. I literally want to go back through my Twitter drafts on my phone and show you guys some of these like super deeply closeted tweets. Even like really silly things. This is just like closeted culture basically. Like I've drafted tweets like, oh my god, the prettiest model just sat next to me at the pool, or I've never felt so gay, or I would write things like, am I the only person that thought Danny Phantom and Sam were attractive? Because I mean like, damn, they're both really hot. I would date either of them. I would date them both. Wow. Nervous laugh again. Okay. So I went to this event in Austria that was related to HIV and AIDS. However, I would say 95% of the people that went to the event were a part of the LGBT community or were very strong allies. At that time, I was finally really ready to come out, and I thought I would have by that point. So I planned out my outfit, and I planned to wear a rainbow crown, and the colors were the same as the LGBTQ+ flag. I thought it would be really perfect for Pride Month, and it also fit my own personal style because I like to dress a lot more colorful. So I did that. So I planned out the outfit, and of course by that point I'd procrastinated more and I had not come out yet. So I was like, well, what do I do? And I wore the dress, and a lot of people, which is totally understandable, were just very confused by my intentions, and it could make sense. And I realized I was so deep in the closet. It was like such an almost coming out for me. I said I felt like an LGBTQ+ Disney princess. I wanted to say like, you know what, I am one, but I said I felt like one. It was like almost coming out but not totally there. I think internally my mind just wanted me to, and I had been putting it off for so long. I like kept posting this suggestive content without actually doing the thing that scared me so much. I even remember I did a Q&A and people were like, what do you think about gender when it comes to relationships? I was like, big deal. For me, constantly talking about the community and coming out and bisexuality online, it was catharsis. It was a way to temporarily relieve that stress. And what was so cool is that I did get an audience of people that were super similar to me without them even realizing even more as to how similar they were because of my LGBT content. I don't know, I just remember getting a lot of comments from people like, Jessie, I just came out to my mom. Aren't you proud of me? And I'd be like, yeah, I wish I could do that myself. Like it was a really interesting situation and not like your typical coming out for that reason. It's very confusing. And I remember I would do Q&As, and every time I would say 90% of the comments were about my sexuality, and I was so closeted that I would go and delete a lot of them and be like, I didn't say anything. No one asked me about my sexuality. It scared me. Your typical closeted teenager. Bisexual erasure is very real in today's society and is definitely another big reason that I was really scared to come out. I was in a relationship this year, my first ever relationship. It was really hard for me. I feel like that relationship was the relationship that I thought I had to have. I felt the need to post a photo immediately to just show people being insecure and closeted. It was just easy, you know? It was like, oh, this can totally delay me having to talk about my bisexuality longer. Why don't I post a picture of me dating this person that is male? Okay. During this relationship, I experienced some biphobic comments, which threw me farther in that closet. I was so far that I was with grandma's hand-me-downs. Not only did these comments make me feel embarrassed, but they made me feel invalid. And I think that's terrifying. And then after that, that's when I really started to post more LGBT content, because that's when things got really hard for me. The biphobic comments really affected me. Oh God, even physically I started to look very different, still look very different, and haven't fully recovered from that. And it just really affected me, and I hope no one else ever has to go through that. No matter what part of the LGBTQ plus community you are a part of, or if you even are an ally and you're facing issues just with your family life, whatever it is, it's scary. Also, I don't think with realizing it, my family would make a few comments that made me feel a little bit insecure as well. I felt from them this energy. It might have even been that they actually said nothing, but I felt that I could only be an advocate for the community, but I thought I wasn't allowed to be a part of the community. I thought they were proud of that. They're like, oh cool, but like they wouldn't actually want me to be a part of the community. I already felt like I was disappointing my family and embarrassing them because I didn't go to college this year, and instead I've been doing college online, a few classes, but I have really not been doing it as often, and I felt incredible guilt because I went to a college prep high school and I felt like I was an embarrassment. And especially with those biphobic comments, I felt even more like an embarrassment. I didn't feel loved. I would say the only thing that got me through that time was, number one, my followers. That's so corny, but it's really true, my people. And I think that's when I started adopting the word my people for all my viewers, because it felt so incredibly, I've said this, but just inclusive and all-including, and I needed that. I needed everyone to feel included because I wasn't feeling included and validated. So I wanted to constantly make sure all the time everyone was feeling validated. It even got to a point where it was even a bit emotionally tiring for me. I was posting really serious tweets that were incredible. I really am proud of them, but I think I was posting them a little bit too much, to the point where it was just emotionally exhausting for me. Like, Jessie, you're allowed to like joke about Club Penguin and like do silly stuff like that on your Twitter too. Like, people don't only follow you for that serious content, and you're more than that. I think the biggest thing I've noticed this year is that I'm more than my colored hair. Like, that's been really cool. The first people that I started to come out to, they were all, I would say 90% people that were already in the community, and I felt the most comfortable with those people. And then they also became my closest friends because they knew this big secret that I was hiding from everyone, and I felt a distance from people that I hadn't come out to. So I became incredibly close with people that were a part of the community because I felt better with them. For example, Bradley, like, we always talked about sexuality and so on, and I think one of my friends that's helped me the most, her name's Steph, and after I came out on Twitter and I didn't realize that I had come out, I didn't realize what I had done. I had to go on a 9-hour flight with no Wi-Fi by myself, and I had such bad anxiety that I didn't sleep for 36 hours. She's literally my mom. Like, I call her my mom. I don't just call her my mom, she is my mom. But honestly, like, the past year I've felt closer to her than my own mom, the person that gave birth to me, because the person that gave birth to me, she makes me call her birth giver, because I had this thing that I was hiding. I wonder if Hannah Montana felt this way. No, okay. Anyways, basically it did feel like I was living this weird double life where half my friends knew and half mine didn't, and I was closer with my friends that were a part of the community. So Steph was offering to always help me create the coming out video, and I kept putting it off with her, and she's like, come on, like, Jessie, you should do it. And I even had a few friends that like brought me to my first 18+ gay club, and that was fun. And I don't know, I think that without those people I wouldn't have been where I'm at today. That day I did 17 hours of flying by myself, and all those hours switched between crying and probably some of the worst anxiety I've had in my whole entire life. I couldn't call my parents to feel better, and I think that was the scariest part. So what happened was, people were very confused by why I said I felt like an LGBT princess, and I stated that I am a part of the community, but didn't state what part of the community, because bisexual erasure still really scared me, because I was still really scared, and I didn't even realize what I was doing. I didn't realize I'd basically just come out. And then I went on Twitter after, and I started to get hello, welcome from people, really nice LGBT YouTubers like Dodie and Gabby Dunn, like people I look up to, and Steph, my mom, like tweeted me like, it's been so great, you know, watching your whole journey for this past year. And then I was like, oh, shoot. What did I just do? I hadn't realized what I'd done, and I cried for 5 hours. I wanted to delete my YouTube channel. because I'm like, I'm not strong enough to have a YouTube channel. I'm not strong enough to be a voice. I can't. Look at me. I'm crying here. I can't do this. I was on the phone with Steph for hours, and because I didn't know who to talk to. I couldn't call my parents because I didn't know if they'd seen the tweets, and I didn't want to address that. I was terrified. So I didn't talk to my parents, and I called Steph right after everything happened. And that was the worst thing. When I feel unhappy, a lot of the times beyond unhappy, when I feel depressive symptoms, I talk to my parents, but I couldn't do that anymore. And that was horrifying. I mostly decided to disclose that I'm just a part of the community versus my own label and story because it didn't fit in a character limit. It was so much more than that, and I decided to address this where I started, on YouTube. Also, Twitter was a really scary place for me. I was just scared. I was scared to look up my name, and I was really scared of Twitter. I felt like I wasn't right for Twitter. Twitter wasn't right for me. Twitter didn't like me, and that's okay. Anyways, here I am. I am 3 weeks after I came out on Twitter. I've come out to my mom. I've come out to a lot of my friends that aren't a part of the community. But I do want to thank my friends that were a part of the community that helped me, like Frank and Steph and Bradley and Alexis Giselle back when we were filming, and Elle Mills. Thank you. So here I am, bisexual. Ah, cue sound effect. Anyways, for my people, I've decided in honor of Pride Month, I'm going to be posting a lot of the LGBT content that I filmed and was scared to post from the past year. I have a video called 100 Ways to Come Out of the Closet, how ironic, while I was closeted, that I filmed with my mom, Steph, and Elle Mills, the queen, the legend. And it's really funny, but also sentimental, and I've been waiting to post it. I was like, it was back in March or February, and I was like, yeah, I'll post it after I come out. Never came out. An original song by Jessie Page, also an autobiography. I'm gonna post that content not only for myself, but for all of you, and I'm so incredibly excited to be able to post even more LGBT content and have it make sense and be able to talk about it from my own perspective. That makes me so proud. Oh my god. It's been so hard, but I'm so happy, and my eye is still twitching. I didn't know it does that. This story is bigger than just myself. It's a big stepping stone for all of us. I'm proud of us. I'm so insanely proud of myself and us today, and I know this is hopefully gonna help so many people. I remember growing up, I watched Troye Sivan's coming out and Connor Francis coming out videos and Ingrid Nilsson's coming out videos, and they helped me so much, and Cammie Scott, and watched videos from Shannon and watched all of Miles' videos, and I remember like watching all this LGBT content and feeling so validated when other people made me feel invalidated, or when my own thoughts in my own mind made me feel invalidated. And I hope that no matter who you are, this makes you feel validated like it made me feel that. I'm not gonna glamorize this process. It's terrifying, it's scary, it's not fairy lights and an LGBT flag. It's anxiety, it's relapsing, it's triggering anxiety. If you have anxiety, it could definitely be a potential trigger. It can bring on depressive symptoms. It can eat at your life, it can consume your thoughts, it can be an everyday thought. You can wake up momentously and continuously and think every single day, I am going to come out and not do it, and hate yourself afterwards because you didn't do it. But that's why I'm so incredibly happy that there is a community out there, and not only is there the LGBTQ plus community, but there's also, already, it's about to get corny, my community. We're our own community that is incredibly accepting, and no matter what you look like, what your hair color is, what your sexuality is, we're so inviting and celebratory of that, and I'm so proud of us. I really am. And I just want you to know, no matter what you're feeling, what you look like, who you love, you're incredibly valid, and your feelings are valid, and I send you all the love in the world, always. I love you all so much. I'm gonna feature a ton of your pages on the screen, as well as your posts. I love you all. I love your accounts. I love reading all your comments on my Instagram pictures. And if you wanna, I'm probably not gonna be on my phone after this. I don't know, maybe I will. I'm gonna be a little scared. I'm gonna be really scared. I'm probably gonna be looking for some homophobic comments, which I shouldn't do. Don't do that, Jessie. In the comment section, if you could just send love, that would be really, really, really appreciated, just so we can, for future Jessie, so she can see that, because I want to give her a hug after she posts this. Future Jessie, I hug you. I love you all so much, and that's the biggest relief. I've been wanting to say that for so long, and I'm just so excited for the future for us.